Cyberpunk 2077 just made fans even angrier. Between a host of game-breaking glitches, unavoidable strobe light effects inducing seizures in certain epileptic gamers, and characters' wieners straight up unexpectedly clipping through their pants, Cyberpunk 2077 has had a rocky launch, to put it mildly, and gamers are understandably furious. Although the video game shattered Steam records for concurrent players and already recouped its production costs due to more than 8 million pre-orders, CD Projekt Red's stock plummeted in the wake of its disastrous rollout, costing the founders more than $1 billion in wealth, according to Bloomberg. After countless delays, CD Projekt Red's long-awaited open-world RPG finally came to PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and Stadia on December 10th. But unfortunately, unless you have a next-gen console or a souped-up gaming PC, the game is basically unplayable, looking worse than PS1-era Hagrid, and leaving many gamers out there profoundly disappointed, angry, and looking for a refund. Now, CD Projekt Red's developers have been working hard to fix the game's many issues, including patching the strobe light effect that induced a seizure in a Game Informer journalist, and, as Kotaku reports, adjusting the, quote, distracting amount of dildos, end quote, that are in the game. On December 13th, the studio heads laid out a roadmap for large patches intended to stabilize and improve performance on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, which were seemingly ignored in favor of meeting their target launch date. The first patch will release in January, followed by a second patch in February, which pledged to fix the most prominent problems gamers are facing on last-gen consoles, where most of the performance issues tend to be localized. However, the last part of this message is what's making gamers genuinely furious, and understandably so. The message explains that those who are not satisfied with the game can opt to refund their copy for a limited time. For copies purchased digitally, please use the refund system of PSM or Xbox respectively. For boxed versions, please first try to get a refund at the store where you bought the game. Should this not be possible, please contact us at helpmerefund@cdprojectred.com. Now, on paper, that sounds like a great way for the studio to address consumers' concerns, promising action for those who want to stay the course and patch their game, and assistance for those who feel the experience wasn't as breathtaking as they'd hoped it would be.
You're breathtaking!
Except that CD Projekt Red didn't actually arrange any special sort of refund policy with Microsoft or Sony, leaving many gamers in the lurch. And on a conference call with investors on Monday, they immediately walked that stance back. When asked about whether or not Microsoft and Sony are participating in this refund initiative, SVP of Business Mikhail Novakowski said, "One has to understand Microsoft and Sony have refund policies for every product that is released digitally on their storefronts. Despite several articles I've seen that things are being set up just for us, it's actually not true. These policies are in place and have always been in place. They're not offered specifically for us." So basically, this means that consumers are beholden to the pre-existing return policies on the PlayStation Network and Xbox Live, and while some Xbox users have reported success getting refunds for the game, PlayStation users seem to be having a far more challenging time. Many PlayStation users report that Sony denied their refund after telling them that because they downloaded the game and or streamed it, they no longer qualify for a refund. Now, according to Kotaku, now when customers email CD Projekt Red's refund assistance account, they are no longer instructing PlayStation users to contact Sony for a refund. Rather, they're being told, if you own a digital copy on PlayStation, please wait for us to get back to you. While this is troubling news, over on the Cyberpunk subreddit, some users are actually reporting success in getting Sony to refund the game in spite of the spate of prior denials. And look, while there are certainly bones to pick with both Sony and Microsoft over their respective refund policies, the bigger issue here is CD Projekt Red rushing to meet their release date at the expense of last-gen console performance, which is just particularly shocking because that is such a massive segment of the game's consumer base that comprises. Why would you ignore that? Now, during that same conference call with investors on Monday, CD Projekt president and co-CEO Adam Kaczynski began the talk by acknowledging that management was, quote, too focused on releasing the game. He said, "We underestimated the scale and complexity of the issues, we ignored the signals about the need for additional time to refine the game on the base last-gen consoles. It was the wrong approach and against our business philosophy. On top of that, during the campaign, we showed the game mostly on PCs." In fact, advanced review copies of the game were only made available on PC, which raised an immediate red flag amongst both critics and consumers alike. Because instead of using what seemed like the best possible excuse imaginable, the pandemic, to delay the game until it was at a stable enough place across multiple console generations, they wound up rushing the game and releasing it in what for many players is a truly unplayable state. And for people who waited 8 years to finally explore Night City, for the developers who crunched and worked long hours to make this dream a reality, this is just a profound disappointment. And while I'm relieved that CDPR amended their policy to ensure that all the developers receive their full bonus that was previously pegged to critical reception, I do hope that they can deliver on their promise to get this game to a place of stability and quality on all platforms so their hard work doesn't feel like it was for naught. And for what it's worth, in spite of the glitches I've encountered so far on PC, I'm very much enjoying this game. I'm someone who used to play the original tabletop RPG on which it's based, so this was maybe my most anticipated release of the year. So it's unfortunate and perhaps fitting that Cyberpunk's ultimate undoing seems to be at the hands of a corporation. Although, I will say, it feels like the damage has been done, but here's hoping that like No Man's Sky before it, this game can overcome the criticism and its issues to get to a place where everyone who wants to play it actually can do so. We'll continue to report on this story as it develops, but in the meantime, tell me, what has your experience with Cyberpunk 2077 been thus far? Did you try to get a refund? Were you actually able to? Let us know in the comments below, and for the latest and greatest in the world of pop culture, make sure you stay tuned to Nerdist.com.